the most important relationship that you could ever have is the relationship that you have with yourself. And when you learn to just show up as you and not care how other people feel about that version of you, that's your true power. It's not to be a particular person to feel like you're finally enough. It's not a false sense of identity that is linked to all of the rejections, the treated poorly, the not replied back on a text, ghosted when people don't give a shit about you anymore. It's not the disrespect that we have faced throughout our whole lives. It has nothing to do with that. That is conditioning. That is something that happened that we just didn't allow us to be able to accept it and flow through the body and be gone. Because when we get ghosted, we identify with that as a problem. We're not okay with that. We can't handle it. What ends up happening is we try to analyze where the problem is at. And most times, that problem that we come up with is that we're the problem. And that we were hurt by someone because we weren't good enough. Or we didn't give enough. Or that we didn't handle the situation correctly. And then we go into our minds and try to analyze what we did wrong so that we would have gotten us a different result than this fucking ghosting that happened. When really that is just something, a reaction to an attachment that was broke, that was hurt. It hurt our feelings. And what happens is when you don't just allow yourself to not give a shit about it, it doesn't just flow through the body and be gone. It flows through the body, it gets stuck. And the flow of love is then stuck in the bottom of the energetic centers in your body. You're not allowing the energetic chakras to feel love and creativity and passion, purpose for your life. Then we're stuck thinking and feeling that life is not good enough. And that we need to make changes for us to receive whatever it is that we're chasing after. When you just drop it, or letting go, because I love to say letting go on this channel. When you drop it and allow yourself to feel those things that happen and anything similar to them in the present moment. Let's say you're going to a public place and an attractive woman purposely looks at you with some type of awkward eye contact or looks at you and looks away immediately. And then we think, oh, there's something wrong with me. I'm not good enough for this person. So what do I need to do with my physique? What do I need to do with my personality for this attractive woman to like me? And then you would go into your own mind later that day and try to analyze and work on what you could do next when you see this person the next time. Wouldn't it be a whole lot more magnetic if you were somebody that was the observer of that consciousness, the observer of that program that's done giving a shit how other people feel about us? Not in a negative way, not because we hate others, not because we are spiritually poisonous, but we are living with awareness. Awareness for feeling love for your life, makes you want to share love without attachments, without being attached to how other people feel about us. And when you begin to be like that as a person in public, with people in person, you can be that with other people online. And you're not chasing after people, women or men on dating apps to give you what you want. And the second you don't get it, your desire is not met. Then you're left feeling betrayed, guilt for doing too much, sadness, depression, unworthiness. I mentioned that a lot. Is because I was once unworthy. I was once not good enough. I was once unattractive. I was once ghosted. Way more than once, to be honest with you. That's why I'm so good at the ghosted videos. It's because I fucking had it happen to me many times. And you know why I get very passionate on my ghosting videos? Because it would make me create a false sense of identity until I found spirit, until I found God, until I found that I didn't need substances to make myself forget about how shitty I felt about my own life. And just learn to live in the present moment. Learn to love right now. Not because I'm lean, not because I'm close to 10 or 12% body fat or leaner or muscular, or inspiring others with my channel, inspiring others with my fitness page. It has nothing to do with that. People love me because I'm being myself. And the ones that don't, that are repelled by that, I look at that as good. I look at that as it's doing me a favor. I take pleasure in making people uncomfortable when I'm being more of myself. When I'm showing people the kind of music I like. When I talk about the music I've played as a drummer. When I talk about when I used to like to smoke weed and do coke and do all of that other stuff. It's because I'm open. It's because I have healed that version of myself. I'm not the person who is consumed by the program. I am above the program. I am awareness. How do you fix attachment? How do you get rid of feeling sorrow? How do you get away from feeling depressed when you get ghosted? You liberate yourself from attachment. You let go of being attached. You message people if you want. You be kind to people in public if you want. You don't be nice. You don't manipulate. You don't fix people's tension when you're being the most authentic version of yourself. You don't turn into the nice guy or girl. You don't need to go talk to them to fix if they're pissed at you, if they look at you and look away, or if they give you the vibe like they don't think you're an attractive person, like at a gym or something. Just focus on your own workout. Stop worrying about that garbage. It's non-existent. It's something that your mind is creating as a story. And what that person is doing is reflecting to you that story that's stuck up here. And your body language is projecting an energy of lack, of not feeling good enough about your own life, of not being an attractive being, not being in the present moment, that is consumed by the past event or attached to something in the future happening for you to finally feel good enough. I'm here to tell you that the most loving, attractive, positive version of you exists in this moment as you watch this video, whether it triggers you or not. And if it triggers you, it may make you want to take action and start to view yourself in a different light. When our concept, I talk about self-concept, I made a pretty powerful video about it a few weeks ago. I'll post it at the end of this video. Self-concepts aren't always healthy. I'm here to tell you, When the self-concept is based on women you were attracted to in elementary school that had great bodies. I'm saying this from the perspective of a man. Women, this will happen to you as well. Men that called you fat or chubby in grade 4 or 5. You probably didn't forget about that. That guy was an asshole. So let's look at it as a young boy's perspective. And a lot of this has to do with the inner child is not healed. So what we need to do is learn meditation to work with your inner child. Inner child healing, so you can release all of these pent up programs that are stuck in our system. And us needing revenge on the opposite sex or the same sex if you're gay. You don't need revenge on anyone. You don't need to achieve something that's the means to an end that you'll finally be enough now. To get rid of how that ghosting made you felt or how being called fat made you felt in elementary school. It's all about bringing awareness to that happened. When I started to hit puberty, I was attracted to women that have the physical attributes that I like as a man. I don't need to name it. This is not a sex YouTube channel. Men like certain things, either boobs or booty. When I started to develop what I liked, I was drawn to certain women's energy. And it's not just women with great bodies. They have to align with you on a personal level as well. Their personality, their energy. And then just feeling like I wasn't good enough to get any of those women. Did I even really try? Not all the time. I grew up as a very shy guy. Like, my way of being open and authentic when I was a boy in elementary school was me being the class clown, being comedic. I wasn't just a guy like to go up to women and not be afraid of rejection. And that's a big one on this video here today. We are all living with the fear of rejection because we are not willing to allow ourselves to feel that or to ever go through that again. Why would anyone want to feel rejection or purposely go hit on someone that's going to reject you? Because you need to be willing to take those chances and just not give a fuck. Not care. How attractive you are, us, is not based on this person saying yes to a date or yes to going to coffee. And don't just message women and tell them how hot or good looking their body parts are on Instagram or YouTube or TikTok. It's not how you get a good woman. If you want to use something like that to message them on a dating app or Instagram, it's not about giving people that type of validation on a social media app. You're much better off to send a very simple message on wanting to get together and in-person meet for coffee and see if your energies gel and see if you could be yourself and if this person really aligns with you. Or are you going to allow that child that was made felt like you weren't good enough by those 2 or 3 women in elementary school and then in high school? I had a girl that I was super attracted to in high school. I ended up with her and, got to go over to her place and, make love, but not actually have sex with her yet. And then like a couple of weeks later, I find out that she cheated on me and had sex with someone else instead of me. When I was like, I think I was 16, probably not even 17. I think this was grade 10, first year at the high school I go to. And then she ended up having sex with someone else, and I didn't get to have my first woman to have sex with, and then I fucking held on to that for a long time, and I ended up suppressing that. But I'm not victim to that program or to that event happening. It's something that happened in life. It doesn't mean that every woman looks at me as an unattractive man because this woman in grade 10 didn't have sex with me and had sex with another guy first. But I would live my life with anger and guilt for not doing what I had to do to have sex with her, or anger because I was felt like I was worthless compared to the guy she had sex with. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't attractive enough. So she had sex with him instead of me. So it's never like a jacked guy or a guy with super low body fat. I was me. I was a young boy, and I didn't really work on my physical attributes in high school. I was more of I was into music. I was smoking cigarettes. I cared more about my badass image and a guy who loves metal than I did of being someone who's involved with fitness. But, things change. That's not who I am now. I'm still a big music guy, but I'm not that boy that dealt with that in high school. So why am I holding on to that? And when attractive women make me feel like they would end up doing that to me, why am I angry with them? Because that happened to me in the past. Why would we hold on to such an event? Why would a woman hold on to such an event that a guy who looks like that would call her fat in grade 5? Because it was fucking hurtful. I can relate, ladies. Like, kids are fucking assholes. To be polite. And we were little assholes when we were in high school. Grow out of it, but it doesn't mean that nowadays we have to hold on to that programming and create the reality and project that energy onto others. And feel like people owe us things for us to finally give them the real version of us. Because if you can't be your real self right off the get-go, when you meet up for that first coffee date, first or second date, and what are you even doing? Are you even living in the present? Or are you living through a means to an end that you're trying to manipulate this person and being the fake version of you? You want them to think that you're rich, you have a lot of money, and you're a high roller. Be a person who makes enough money. Be a person who has a good career, who has a good life. You don't have to hide that you're not making the amount that you wish you were making. Be open. You don't have to share the amount you make your income per year. I'm just saying, you don't have to rent a fucking expensive car or take the fanciest car, wear the fanciest jacket to impress them. Take them to the 5-star restaurant that's $200 a plate just to impress them. Because you know what? That woman don't give a fuck about any of that. If you're not in alignment with her when it comes to your energy, if you're not afraid of her, not afraid to be yourself, she's going to feel that from you. And that goes both ways. If a woman is afraid with the man, it's not going to go long term. And you guys are going to run into trouble. You're not going to be compatible later in the relationship because you guys weren't open and authentic off the get-go. So try to bring awareness to this stuff. If you need some help, just let me know. I'll make a video on inner child. I'll create a meditation, a 20-minute meditation for you to recalibrate your system and have a consciousness meetup with your inner child that lives within you, for you to speak to it and have it tell you how it really feels, for you to finally let those feelings go. Let me know in the comments and I'll create that for you. Thank you for watching this one.